Thanks so much, Rick, and thanks to everybody that's here tonight. I got to click on continue, it says. Okay. I'm Ken. I am a compulsive overeater. I've been a compulsive overeater most of my life. I came to it kind of naturally, I guess. But I'm also probably the luckiest guy in the world. And one of the reasons I am is one of the proofs of that is that I'm here. I'm here tonight. I've found OA, or AO or OA found me a while back and changed my life. So to go back in time, I guess, I got some pictures to show you to help tell my story. And I'll start with my family. Currently, this is me and my wife in the white shirts. My son's in the middle. My daughter's there and her former husband on the end. And you can see that the guys in this picture all need OA. I'm holding the wreath up there to cover my belly. So that was 2016. Well, that wasn't the first time I ever found OA or needed it. But growing up, I became the chubby kid around 4th or 5th grade because my family didn't eat particularly well, and I was a very finicky eater, so I didn't eat vegetables or any of that stuff. And what that did for me was made me the kid that got teased by the boys and ignored by the girls. So I didn't like any of those things very much, but I didn't know what to do about it. I got to high school, and at that age, I was interested in girls a lot and didn't have any way to figure out how to get thin enough. I know I don't look very heavy there, but I always felt that I was really fat. And so I got teased for it, and I couldn't play sports very well. I was the kid that was always picked last when they did the baseball team, and all of that. But I decided at that age that I needed to do something. The only thing I could think of was to stop eating altogether. So by the time I graduated high school, I was able to wear this tux. I might even be able to wear that today, I don't know. But I thought I was the best thing since sliced bread by then. And of course, I didn't stop eating entirely, but I really did just do my best to eat as little as I possibly could. And went off to college that way, got my first girlfriend, and life was great. But as everybody knows, you can't go the rest of your life without eating. And I liked to eat. I liked to eat a lot, and I became heavy again. But God smiled on me once again. And when I was a young guy, I found the most beautiful Southern belle you can imagine, who for some reason, despite the fact that I was 260 pounds, thought I was the thing that the person she wanted to be with for the rest of her life. And so we got married. That was 52 years ago. So I guess that was a good thing to do. It certainly was for me. And what she introduced me to was a better way of eating. She was a Southerner, so she ate breakfast. I never ate breakfast before I knew her, because when you eat late at night and you drink a lot, you don't feel like eating in the morning. So I never ate breakfast. But she said to me when we first got married, I'm going to be eating breakfast every day. I'll make some for you if you want it. So that changed things for me in eating. And then the other thing that changed it was she said, we're going to Weight Watchers. And that was the first time I learned about proper nutrition and what a plate should look like, how much protein, how much vegetable, and eating vegetable. And that worked for a while because I was pretty good at that dieting thing. I could get into the competition with her, and I could lose more weight than she did, even though we were both following our program and all of that. And that kept me thin for a good while. But the trick was family and my son. I love my son. That guy is one of the brightest, most creative people I know. He lives here on the West Coast. He's who I'm staying with right now while we're here. But he obviously has an eating problem, just like I did. Only his was going far beyond what I ever allowed myself to do. I always knew when I was eating that if I really ate the way I really wanted to, that's what I would look like. Somehow God never let me get quite that far. So I had done Weight Watchers, And then Jake, as a high school teenager, got into drugs. And when he got into drugs, we decided to put our family into a 12-step program for teenagers. That brought me to the 12 steps for the first time in my life. I had to memorize them. The whole family had to memorize the 12 steps. We went to meetings every Friday. My son was in the program 24/7. And I can remember thinking, who is the we that's doing all these things in the 12 steps? And what does that really mean? What do these things really mean? It was something that was brand new to me at the time. I had heard about Alcoholics Anonymous. I had never heard about Overeaters Anonymous. But there were some women in the program, some of the other mothers, that were talking about it one time. And I heard them say, I'm going to give up white flour and sugar. Now, I thought that was the craziest thing I had ever heard, because those were the things that sustained me. Those were foods that I thought I couldn't live without. White flour things and sugar? Are you kidding me? That's what I ate every day, every meal. Even when I was being good on a diet, Weight Watchers let you have some desserts as long as you stay in some number range and things like that. And I could always just go off the range for a while and eat the things that I wanted. But these people were talking about giving that up altogether. Didn't sound like anything I'd ever want. But I talked at the parent meeting about having trouble with eating. And they said to me, you're in a recovery program and you don't know what to do about that? Get yourself to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting. So I did what I was told, and I got to my first Overeaters Anonymous meeting. I got a sponsor, and just like I did with Weight Watchers, I could do what I was told to do. I called my sponsor every day. I got a food plan with him based on the gray sheet. I lost a lot of weight, and I looked great again. And I kept doing that. I even did the 12 steps, I did the 12 steps with him, but I remember that I didn't do everything in my fifth step. I didn't give him everything that I had come up with in my fourth step. I held back some things that I didn't think I wanted anybody else to know. But the program worked for the weight loss part, but I was only using one leg of the stool. And so after a while, I got back to eating again and went up to 280 pounds. Well, that wasn't good. But my son obviously got rid of the drugs, but never got the eating part under control long enough. He went to OA, he went to NA, he went to AA, but he obviously couldn't control the eating. And at that time in 2016 here, I was eating right along with him. Not quite as much as he was doing, but I was like his druggy buddy in the food. He and I would watch sporting events together and eat all the junk you eat when you watch a sporting event. My daughter here told me and my wife, when we come out to LA the next time, you're going to be shocked at how big Jake has gotten. And somebody's got to do something about it. So in 2016, in that December where this picture was taken, we had a family meeting, and there was lots of discussion about what Jake was doing and what we felt about it, and gnashing of teeth and how he was killing himself and all of those things. And it just was awful. And the only thing that I got out of that, again, I got a gift from doing it, and that gift was that I knew I had to do something about myself. And I knew the only thing that worked was what I had been resisting for the 12 years since I had been in OA before, and that was to get back to OA. And in that December of 2016, I went back to an OA meeting in California again. And then when I went back home, I went back to the home meeting that I had been in right from the beginning. And in that meeting was a guy that came up to me at the end of the meeting and said, would you like me to be your sponsor? So that was January of 2017. And fortunately, I said yes. And he was another gift in my life. This guy has plenty of experience with program, with the 12 steps, with both OA and AA. And we would meet and talk. I did a good fifth step with him. He helped me through it, of course. And at some point there, I asked him, I said, how do you know how to give me so much help with all the things that we're talking about? What did you do when you were in your profession? He said, well, I was a counselor. I said, wow, man, this is a great program. I got free counseling. Man, how could you do any better than that? So I've been with my sponsor for those, 4 years, I guess now. And he and I talk every day still. And I'm really working the other two legs of the stool that I wasn't working before. I create an action plan and a food plan every day, call those into my sponsor every morning, and then try to follow them through the day. And my prayers are just like it says in the 12th step. I pray to God for the willingness to be abstinent. Just give me the willingness to follow your will for me for today, and hoping that that'll be the willingness to be abstinent too, and the willingness to do what I need to do in the day to stay abstinent all day long, and to be kind to other people and help other people in some way through the OA program. So I've been told that it's a good idea when you're asked to do service to say yes as often as possible. So that's why I'm here tonight. I got asked a couple of days ago would I speak at this meeting, and so the only answer I can give, if it's any way possible, is to say yes. So that's why I'm here. And I know that by doing this, I'm helping myself probably more than I'm helping anybody out there, because my story isn't anything special. But it is a story that is my story. And it is the weakness that I have that binds me together with you, just like in the reading at the beginning that it says. Because I thought I was good at this stuff. I thought I was good at dieting. I proved it, I thought, to myself in Weight Watchers. I proved it to myself, I thought, the first time I was in OA. But when I got to my retirement in 2012 from my profession, I'd been in OA for 12 years at that time, and I had maintained a good, healthy body weight. And I thought then, well, I know what I'm doing. I don't have to keep going to meetings. I don't have to keep calling a sponsor. I can do this just like I did in Weight Watchers and just follow the food plan. If I get off it a little bit, I know how to get right back on. And I went from about 180 pounds to 260 in no time, because I couldn't do it on my own, because of the weakness that I have, because of the compulsion that is part of me and that I see in my son. So he has told me a couple of times that he really admires what I'm doing, but it hasn't helped for him. So I can't do it for him. All I can do is be a model for him as best I can to do what I need to do to take care of myself, and to eat the way I'm eating now, and to say the prayers that I say every day, to follow my food plan and my action plan, call 3 OAs every day if I can, get to meetings as often as I can, and do all of those things that are in the tools, and just try to use every one of those tools every day if I can. That's what seems to work for me. I'm anxious to hear what other folks have to say. So that's my story. And thank you for letting me share it. And thank you for having this meeting. And I'll pass now.